hook. It does look as if McCarthy has distanced the peloton behind, so it's breaking up ever so slightly. Albacini is an attacking rider. Orica Green Edge have obviously, go out there and, ride aggressively, put a rider in the breakaway. Chiruka attacked up this climb the previous lap. Albacini going now. Albacini, a strong rider. And Orica Green Edge playing, well, if Michael Matthews isn't up for, got the legs to beat Sagan, we're going to attack the race and try and win the stage. It's just a pity maybe some of the other teams not getting involved. But there's still 18.5 kilometres to go, another climb after this climb, and the racing is definitely not over, but a brave performance here from Sylvain Dillier, and trying to stay away, but just look at the speed that Albacini is coming across this gap.
Yeah, he's over 20 kilometres an hour up this hill, and his cadence on or around about 100 on a climb. He's a strong man, there's no doubt about it. This live telemetry brought to you by Velon. And his power figures are pretty impressive as well, touching 500 watts at times on this climb as he tries to get across the gap, but more importantly tries to hold off the peloton because, well, he's fresh legs for those riders up front. He'll get there pretty close to the top of the hill, I think. And then, well, the likes of Heyman, in particular Beestrom, who seems to be in flying form. Dillier is going very well indeed. Might be just able to assist Albacini, and fresh legs could be just what this break needs.
Yeah, you can just see Heyman. He'll know with the race radio that Albacini's coming across. Cancellara now in difficulty at the back of this peloton. Just goes to show you. So the points shares is second overall in a little bit of difficulty in this climb, just behind Tosh van der Sande and Lotto Soudal. This is showing you how hard. It was a strong breakaway over the top of the hill. Hoobdon takes the maximum points. Matt Heyman is just easing back now. What a teammate he is, just easing back, getting Albacini on the wheel, and they two will combine to go back to the front of the race.
So that wasn't Matt Heyman struggling by any means. No, what he was trying to do was just give Albacini just that little breather, get him onto the back of the group and let Albacini recover and go again. He's got the fresher legs. Fresh is probably not the word to use, but fresher, or at least unfresh. And Albacini will recover as best he can as Heyman is going to tow him back to that group of 4 riders up front. Make that 3.
I've really enjoyed watching today's stage and the tactics of Orica Green Edge. They've taken the race on. They've looked at the race yesterday, realised they don't have a fast enough man to beat Sagan. They went out there today and really attacked the race, putting Heyman in the breakaway. Chiruka goes on the attack, Albacini goes on the attack. It's this is sort of team racing I love watching, and Heyman goes straight to the front after easing off and letting them back on. Dillier, get on the wheel, push this forward. We've got a race in our hands now.
Well, Dillier's got certainly something to fight for. 17.2 kilometres. You'd say it's going to be tough. There's another categorised climb to come, and that is the 1,300 metre ascent of the Olberg Strasse, and that's reached. The top of that's reached just 11.5 kilometres from the line. So just outside the 10k to go point, they'll be finished with the climbing. They'll race down the hill and into Rheinfelden. Is it going to be a big bunch sprint, or is it going to be contested by the riders from this 5-man group up front now? Just over 10 miles in old money left in this stage as we wind our way through another one of these impossibly beautiful villages in northern Switzerland. Albacini just trying to gather his thoughts, catch his breath, and he'll go to lunch again. Was the right way to play this for him to go alone, or will he try and use up the legs of those riders that are there for as long as possible?
I think it's going to be very difficult to go alone, because Sylvain Dillier wants to look for the for the overall. They're bringing one of the cars back, which means that this is still a healthy gap. We're not seeing any gaps at the moment. Nothing yet in race radio, but they pulled one of the referee cars back there, so it means that it must be over 30 seconds. So Beestrom wants to go for this. Albacini, mouth open, agape after that hard effort. They're just going round this similar corner, so it's about maybe maximum 25, maybe maximum 30 seconds, but very depleted peloton. Has Cancellara managed to make it back to this front group? We'll have to wait and see, but great tactics today already by Orica Green Edge. We'll have to wait and see if it pays off, but they've thrown the gauntlet down. Matt Heyman, we've seen him doing this. He's absolutely burying himself now, which is going to suit Dillier, burying himself to this next climb, and then that'll be his job done. What a tremendous teammate to have.
Well, you know, within days of his career-making Paris-Roubaix victory, he was back on duties as the super domestique that he is. Matt Hayman is, as you say, very much a team player. He would take as much pleasure from a Michael Albacini victory as Albacini himself possibly would. Albacini sneaks a crafty little look over his shoulder. 32 seconds is the update that we get. Albacini in the crouch and charging along at speeds approaching 60 kilometers an hour on this road. And they managed to pull a car to the side. The bunch, though, is stretched thin in the chase behind.
But the thing is, Declan, who is chasing? They put neutral service in there now, so the gap holding 30-35 seconds. But who is chasing behind? That's what I'd like to know, because if Cancellara has been dropped, it's been hard over that climb. How many of Peter Sagan's teammates are there? You know, Lotto Soudal, you know, Tosh van der Sande was being dropped with Cancellara. So there's a lot of riders in difficulty. Who is doing the chasing behind? Going up to 35 seconds. This could be a good opportunity. We've seen it's all down to Lotto Soudal. So, you know, looking at peloton now, the yellow jersey is still there, right near the front. Jurgen Rollins pinched that off Cancellara yesterday. We don't know if Cancellara has made it back on, but Peter Sagan is pretty much on his own. He might have one teammate with him, but that's it. So it's left down to Lotto Soudal. Lotto Soudal, if they want to keep a hold of that jersey, then they have to put a hard effort in now to bring this five-rider break back, because the danger man now for that overall lead is Sylvain Delay from BMC, the local man who's now sitting 7 seconds off that overall lead of Rollins with 10, 6 and 4 in the finishing line.
Yeah, he's the leader on the road at the moment. Here comes the attack from Albacini as Hayman has done his job, pulls off, and he's going to try and tuck in as best he can on the group, but Bistrom has a little look behind to see if Hayman has made it. Dillier realised he's got to close the gap, so now they are 4, could well be 5, and Albacini throttles back for this next left-hander. Will have a little bit of a review, and he realises he's brought riders with him, so now they have to think about sharing the work. We didn't get a full view of that. Was it a full-blooded attack, or did he just establish a bit of an advantage through the turns? Meanwhile, further back, Team Sky make their way to the front.
But also Orica Green Edge have made their way to the front, so they're trying to slow things up ever so slightly. Who are going to bring this back? Because I think it's been a hard chase. Pim Lichtard for Lotto Soudal is right up there. Just behind them, you'll see the green helmets of Orica Green Edge. They know there's an opportunity for a stage win. Jules Jensen is straight up there. Also, Geraint Thomas has been looked after by Kirienka. It's going to be a very difficult chase now to bring Albacini back, but it's not over yet. We can just see Quick Step. I've got the Czech champion Vakoc up there towards the front. He's another attacking type of rider on the right hand side in the white. He could be another one that could spin his way across on this next steep climb to maybe join Albacini in front. This race is on. It's been on for the last 10-15 kilometres, and it's great viewing at the moment.
Yeah, I wonder what sprinters have made it in. We're absolutely sure, of course, that Peter Sagan is safely in there, as now the riders from the breakaway group start to suffer a little bit. And here comes Dillier with Albacini on his wheel. Bistrom looks still full of fight. Dillier out of the saddle. He's got to be suffering. Bistrom seems strong. Albacini, we know, has a busy style, but he's been sitting in the wheels a lot longer than the other riders. There's the stats. 9.6% average and a max of 12.5%. That's a hell of a lot at the end of almost 200 kilometers of tough bike racing. 1,300 meters isn't the longest hill you're going to face, but it is going to hurt. And the hurt is being put on at the moment by Michael Albacini, the veteran Swiss rider, who has his fellow countryman Sylvain Dillier for company. So the Swiss rider's putting it up to everyone else.
But that's the only problem for Albacini now, is that man, his countryman, as you said, Cancellara at the back, still, he managed to get back on his toiling, but look at the Lotto Soudal riders massing towards the back of the peloton. It's been a hard chase for them, very difficult to chase in this steep climb, but it just goes to show you that Albacini going for the stage win. He's got Dillier with him, that's why Lotto Soudal were chasing. They're not too worried about the stage win, and now they're having to use up Tim Wellens. Tim Wellens is at the front of the peloton, but Michael Matthews is sitting up there in third place. You've got Jules Jensen for Orica Green Edge in the green helmet, second place. Michael Matthews, third place. Then just looking behind, Geraint Thomas is right up there for Team Sky. This other teams in here with their cars to play, but it just goes to show you 192.6 kilometres. Weather conditions not favourable, not too cold, but it's been a hard stage already, and with 12 kilometres to go, it's not all over.
Well, Matt Heyman has been dragged back. Great effort from him. Is that I do believe it is, of course, Hub Doynes, who was from Team Rompot, who was jettisoned. So now just 3 riders remaining up front. Michael Albacini, Sylvain Dillier have just stretched their legs ever so slightly and left Sven-Erik Bystrom a little bit further behind.
Yeah, this is it. They have to combine together, and it's always going to be very difficult for Albacini to maybe go to the finish alone, but he's got with him the rider that is probably the danger to most people. Peter Sagan, the world champion, comes to the front. Lotto Soudal have disappeared. Pantano's up there for IAM. You can just see the riders being distanced at the back. The thing is, Tinkoff have chased hard. Now the world champion has had to do it alone, and he's not going to come across this gap on his own. He realised that if he wants to win this stage, he has got to shut down Albacini and Dillier on this climb. If Albacini and Dillier get over the top of the climb with 15-20 seconds, I'm not too sure the world champion will be able to do it, but just look at the huge effort. He's left everybody behind. Wow,
such strength, such incredible performance from Peter Sagan, but if he gets them back, well, he's not going to get them back before the top of the hill, but even if he gets them back, can he recover to go and sprint again after it? It's a cracking stage, there's no doubt about it, as Peter Sagan has disappeared from the bunch, is racing across the gap. Here comes the world champion, here comes the man that has won no less than 12 stages of the Tour of Switzerland in his career, and the bunch can just watch, and there's nothing they can do about it. Is it Matthews trying to get across? Well, he's a good climber as sprinters go, but not quite as good as Sagan.
Yeah, Matthews was looking at his legs, looking down. What an amazing effort. Used his team, realised there was nobody to chase him down. Peter Sagan is only a matter of 200 metres behind him. We know he can descend better than the riders in front. It does look as if at this stage that he could make it 3 in front. Another potential 13 stage win. I tell you what, the hearts of Sylvain Dillier and Albacini will drop once they look behind to see the World Championship jersey has made it onto them.
Well, the hearts of Jürgen Rollins already dropped because Peter Sagan was just 10 seconds in arrears going into today's stage. Dillier now just 6 seconds back, 7 seconds back as a result of the time that he's gained on the road today. And Sagan pushing as only he knows how. The motorbikes trying to keep out of the way. They know just how good he is around those corners. The confidence is incredible.
He's taking a gel now. He's so confident he's going to make it back. He's decided, come round that corner, I'm going to put my hand in my pocket, take a gel and come up to the front 2.
Well, they're not going to believe it. They think they're going down this hill pretty quickly. They are going down this hill pretty quickly. Albacini, a committed bike rider, if ever there was one. Sylvain Dillier in his wheel with so much to gain from this stage. And very shortly, they are going to be visited by the incredible Peter Sagan, who arrives at them with just 10 kilometres remaining on stage 3 of the Tour of Switzerland. Cracking stage.
I tell you what, it's the perfect time. He's used up all his team. He knew they were going to be tired. Perfect time. He had to shut them down at the top of that climb. Comes across, just makes the junction after the quick descent. And Dillier will be still thinking he can try and do something. You've got to remember that he's 7 seconds off the overall lead, so he's got something to ride for. Albacini is only thinking of the stage, but he has to ride thinking of this stage. Sagan is thinking of 2 things, the stage and possibly overall as well. 10, 6 and 4 on the line. This man is 10 seconds down. The rider in BMC is 7 seconds down. Look at the depletion and the peloton behind all over the place. No really concerted chase. It's only a matter of about 10-15 seconds. How many Lotto Soudal riders are towards the front? Jürgen Rollins, where is he? Where is the yellow jersey? That's a Lotto Jumbo. Rui Costa's right up there. I cannot see the yellow jersey at the front of this race.
Well, I'm not sure that Jürgen Rollins has made it in here, so Rollins has got to be potentially saying goodbye to his yellow jersey. Sylvain Dillier with so much to fight for too, is Peter Sagan's stage and perhaps overall honours on a plate for him at the moment, with 9 kilometres left on the race, on the road to Rheinfelden.
Matthews.
Yeah, Bystrom has been picked up by Matthews. The two of them are about to be picked up by what's left of the bunch. Who's got legs left to ride?
Well, that was the biggest mistake that Matthews. He didn't have the legs yesterday. He only had to try and follow the world champion. I say only flippantly, but he only had to follow the world champion here to get an easy ride to the front because Albacini's there. Now we've got 3 riders in front. The winner of yesterday's stage and the current world champion still eating as much as he can. and that's Peter Sagan. He's got with him Sylvain Dillier, the local man who love to win a stage here. He's the rider coming through. The rider at the back, Albacini, is he going to ride? He is. He's going to ride with these two, thinking possibly of the stage win.
Well, I suppose Albacini could be forgiven for not riding, or at least he'd have an excuse. He could say, well, look, I've been ordered to sit up and wait for, or not sit up, but at least not work for this one to try and help Michael Matthews behind.
Oh, I don't think. I think what's going to happen now is Albacini will ride. He might not commit himself 100%. There is the yellow jersey. He's on the wheel of Geraint Thomas. He had his made it in. There's. I don't know if this is. That's actually Kirienka. So Kirienka, is he being brought back to the front group? This does look as if Lotto Soudal are bringing him back to the group in front. It is. So he was dropped, he was distanced, and they've had to battle to bring him back to the group of the. I think Michael Matthews is now back in this group, the group of Geraint Thomas. So these two groups coming back together, making about 40, 50 riders in the peloton. Still 3 riders in front at 14 seconds. The race is on. 3 super riders down the roads. Is it going to be a Swiss win? Is it going to be a Czech win? Is it all been going to be brought back together? Is Rollins going to save that yellow jersey? It's all in the balance with 7 kilometres to go. It
certainly is. The gap is going up. It's now 15 seconds, but the road flattens. So what can the group behind manage to achieve in the remaining 7 kilometres of racing? As we race down to Rheinfelden at the conclusion of 192.6 kilometres of racing. It's been a hell of a bike race so far. It took a while for the breakaway to establish itself. When it did, 8 riders made their way clean, and they've had pretty difficult conditions. On and off has been the tap that has poured the rain down on the riders throughout the afternoon. They've had sunshine and rain. They've had dry roads and wet. They're wet at the moment. It's going to be a little bit tippy-toe into the town of Rheinfelden, but will it be a sprint amongst 3 riders for the stage success, or will it be from this bigger group behind? Remains to be seen. Looks like Jürgen Rollins could well be able to get back in here. A couple of Sky riders in that group behind Vasil Kirienka, Michal Golas. Geraint Thomas, we believe, safely in that group up front, or at least in the group, the big group that are chasing now. So quick correction of the time, still 12 seconds. They're saying Albacini's fully committed to this one, punching the pedals. Just behind him, Peter Sagan, winner of Tour of Flanders, as well as Gent Wevelgem in those 2 stages of California this year. So thanks to Josh Varty for that on Twitter, reminding me of his Tour of Flanders success. What a year it's been for Peter Sagan. Can he make it another great day?
No, it's been fantastic ever since he won the World Championships. He's, even here he's been on a fantastic form. Winning stages recently, but now we get Stibar in the front, Vakoc in second place. I think it's young Sam Oomen for Giant Alpecin right up there as well. TJ Van Garderen is in this front group. But are they going to bring these riders back? Albacini wants this break to succeed, but I think in the last couple of kilometres, if they do stay away, he'll be the rider that will be riding at the back. The other 2 riders have got the general classification in mind, but I'm not too sure that Peter Sagan is too worried about possibly taking that yellow jersey. I think he's thinking of a 13-stage win rather than the general classification at this moment.
Great cornering by Dillier, got first sight of the corner. Sagan forced to leap over the central reservation, not the only one that does that. And super work by Albacini. As Sagan, has he got on his own? Let's see, they widen a little bit. Albacini's trying to close the gap. Sagan is trying to pull a fast one. Dillier didn't need that for his overall ambitions. Sagan, he loves to attack. A man with his sprint could be forgiven for sitting in and waiting for the gallop, but no way. He loves to go on the attack. He loves to show the colours. He loves to show his ability. And Dillier, I think, just needs to fight a little bit more and will make it back into the wheel. These riders still need to work together, though.
Yeah,
5 kilometres to go.
Possibly maybe the wrong thing to do there, because the peloton are boring down their neck. We've got Vakoc and Stibar at the front of the peloton. They only have about 9-10 seconds, and to put that effort in and actually hurt the legs of Sylvain Dillier. Sylvain Dillier will be trying to gain breath at the moment. He flicks his elbow. They don't want to ride with him. If you're going to attack us like this, then we're not going to ride with you. So it does look, and they're saying it's 18 seconds now. So Peter Sagan maybe made a bit of a mistake now. The other 2 riders of Albacini and Dillier are just going to sit on him. He's in a situation possibly where it's touch and go whether they stay away now.
Well, what are they saying in his ear from the Tinkoff Saxo team car? Are they saying, Peter, ride for the jersey, you've some chance of getting it, but of course you're towing Sylvain Dillier to the line, and he also has a chance of benefiting. He's got a better position in terms of time going to the line than Peter Sagan has. Or are they saying, no, you need the stage honours, it's absolutely everything here. We saw this last year in Tour of Switzerland. He did come up with stage success, but before that he was on the attack and tending to leave his sprint out the road a little bit. Took him a little while to get that stage success 12 months ago. Now in the early days of the Tour of Switzerland 2016, we've got the world champion Peter Sagan on the attack, but he already, as you said, Brian, has the stage win in the bag.
The thing is Orica Green Edge have been the attacking team of this stage today. What do? Do they say Albacini just sit on and wait for Michael Matthews behind to win the stage? That's the big call that they have to make with 3.2 kilometres to go. Giant Alpecin are riding at the front. You know, Ed Hicks Quickstep are also involved there, but I think it's still touch and go. I think a big call has to come from the car for Orica Green Edge and just say Albacini just sit in the wheel from now on. Dilly does look as if he's on the attack. Local roads, he really wants to win, but it does look as if he's on his last legs. I think if I was Albacini, I'll just sit in the wheel. You got to prepare to lose to win some races, and I think he has to sit on the wheel now all the way into the finish. If they get brought back, I think Michael Matthews still has an opportunity to take the win for Orica Green Edge.
Oh, he's so powerful, isn't he? Sagan straight lines that roundabout, and Dillier and they have to make a little effort to get back into contention. That's all costing Watts just laid on, costing joules of energy. Speaking of joules of energy, Stybar trying to get Vakoc into position. The attacks are coming from the group behind. It's yo-yoing. The gap at 1 second, 1 moment is shown as 8 seconds, then 11 seconds, 17 seconds, back to 11. It's all over the place at the moment, but it's compelling, enthralling stuff. And Stybar's burying himself for Vakoc.
I'll tell you what, Stybar and Vakoc are burying themselves. You can just see gaps starting to open at the back of this peloton. Grimace there from Stybar. They are trying to bring back the world champion. The world champion is absolutely flying at the moment, and he's only 7 seconds in front. Can he bring the 13th victory in the Tour de Suisse's history? Well,
that's not much of a bunch chasing, is it? It's really shattered into smithereens in the last knockings of this fantastic and enthralling third stage of Tour of Switzerland. Geraint Thomas has made it safely in there. I thought I picked out three-time Tour de Suisse winner Rui Costa in the Portuguese national champions jersey, also safely in the group. Simon Geschke is not far hard to pick out, is he, with that beard? There's plenty of other strong riders, and I don't doubt that these riders in there as well are thinking about putting a little bit of overall time into some of the GC contenders that could well have missed this split. Albacini realizes he's got to go to the front. Albacini is definitely the sort of guy who will make the effort laid on. We saw that in Liège.
I think he's making a mistake here. You know, we're into the last kilometre, and I think he should be sitting on. I think he should be sitting at the back and be prepared to lose this, because they've got Michael Matthews closing in from behind, and the fastest man here is Peter Sagan, hands down.
Well, it's Peter Sagan is on the front. He's going to lead them. We're inside the final kilometre. Is this group going to knit up? There's nothing between them. They can't afford to throttle back for one single moment. And it's not a particularly technical finish. There's a few winds and twists and turns, but for a small group, not really a major issue as they make their way into Rheinfelden. The group behind, chasing hard.
Yeah, it's Lotto Soudal now taking over Jürgen Rollins in the yellow jersey, coming up very quickly. You got to remember, two riders in this front group are 7 and 10 seconds off that overall lead. He's just at the front of the peloton in the left-hand side, inside the last 500 metres.
Inside the last 500, three up front. Will they contest the victory? It's going to be nip and tuck. There's nothing between them. Going for the big long one, Michael Albacini, the local man's going to lead it out. Peter Sagan has done so much work. Has he got enough to get in touch? As Sylvain Dillier finds that he's struggling to get on terms inside the last 50 metres, as Sagan goes the left-hand side of picture, no one's going to stop Sagan. Sagan takes two in a row. Dillier and Albacini there as well, as it looked as if Stybar might have left the group in behind at a distance of maybe 5 seconds. That could well be enough to unseat Jürgen Rollins from the yellow jersey. We wait for the full confirmation, but the bonus seconds mopped up by the first three across the line. Nobody was going to stop Peter Sagan. What an amazing display of power, intensity, incredible athletic strength, and wonderful opportunism by a man who is in the form of his life. The world champion, Peter Sagan, makes it 13 stage successes in the Tour de Suisse, his second in a row.
Well, here he is again, and Albacini leading out from a long way, but it just kicks up now, and Peter Sagan comes round the right-hand side. Easy, this is why he's world champion. He takes a 10-second bonus and the yellow jersey. Albacini takes seconds, and Sylvain Delia, the local man, takes third, so he'll be on the podium. He's moved up there in the general classification, but this is why this guy is the world champion. That's why he's got the world stripes on, and he left the others for dead. Looked as if Albacini should have maybe sat on the back for a little bit, but maybe he got the shout from behind that Michael Matthews wasn't in a good way, and he never even competed in the bunch kick behind.
Well, I tell you what, they are going to be adding this one up for a little while, because Dillier has gained 4 seconds plus the 6 seconds he gained out on the road. He was 13 seconds in arrears at the outset of today. So if he's gained more than 3 seconds between himself and the group behind, then he's going to move ahead of Rollins. Of course, Peter Sagan was 10 seconds in arrears today, gained 10 seconds on the road, plus what he gains on Rollins. So it could be between Sagan and Dillier as who ends up in the jersey, and it's going to be very, very tight.
Yeah, it's going to be tight, but this man